very concerned with our college students today. First of all, people have so much self-pressure in high school. It's a reality that not everyone needs to go to college. Yet people now, because of the sort of surrounding pressure, feel like they really need to go. Those that do go in some parts of college feel like they have to, the culture is to it's a crushing culture to work so hard, but it's sometimes misguided hard work. And then you get out and have to, it's like the rat race, so to speak. But how can we, I think you seem to have done a very good job at this so far, find a job that can support yourself, but it's something that is a good fit for you. It's something that is your skills match. You get to pay the bills, but you're also not miserable all day. So there's kind of a complicated conversation around that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that is pertinent here. I mean, a big part of what we talk about on the National Champion Radio is the state of the institutions of the nation and sort of how they're creating character and perhaps prosperity, trying to focus in on these values that make a nation and a species flourish. And so it's important to get educational systems and institutions right. And it's interesting, even as on one end as a parent and on another end as a professor, you're saying, I guess, two different worlds, right? Because people are coming to you well into their education in order to do a program. And so that's maybe a different story, but what are the outcomes for your students and how's that impacting? Obviously, MIT is a cream of the crop, so maybe it's maybe not the best sample size for the rest of individuals who get into, astronomy. And so, yeah, maybe you can speak more on what you see from your perspective on our institutions and education in that end.
Well, it's always been a really tough question because on the one hand, the institutions generally aim to make you a well-rounded, broadly knowledgeable, really good at problem-solving individual. So that's kind of what the institutions set out to do, but not everyone needs that. I can maybe speak to myself, for example. I definitely did not need a liberal arts education and actually did my best to get out of those extra classes, like on the history and writing side, because my brain didn't compute. Just give me a detailed historical biography and my brain just can't process it very easily, actually. So,
Really?
I mean, it's may not be surprising. So I didn't feel like
Yeah, it is surprising.
having that broad education would help me in any way because I couldn't understand it and I wouldn't remember any of it. There's sort of different ways to look at what education can do, right? So, you might argue if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or, try to get to the heart of the financial system, maybe you do need a certain type of college, university. If you want to be that more well-rounded person, broadly speaking, you need university, but there's plenty of other jobs where you don't need it for. And I do think that as a society, we need to return to that for the people who aren't, like I said, aren't going to need that specific training, that general. I use myself as an example, but who it's just not. Yeah, I don't know where this is, but I do see that.
No, it makes sense. It's not widely applicable to
it's
everyone.
not widely applicable, and just seeing everyone. Again, it's not a big sample size. It's sort of wealthy suburb where I've been living, but seeing the level of pressure on students trying to apply to so many colleges, and it's like sometimes putting a round peg in a square hole, trying to get into a name brand college because they think it'll give them more of what they need. It's a struggle to watch that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I got lucky in a sense, like you say about me. I mean, I went to so many colleges before I went to the University of Michigan, but my parents were just like, you got to get past high school. I mean, they did too. So it's just like, you got to get past high school. Like, all right. And then once I was just, I was being a filmmaker, I went to different, I went to a film school, I went to an art school, I went to community college before eventually going to the University of Michigan, transferring in. And that was just like a crazy, unexpected twist for me and for them. And so it was like, well, whatever you want to do, whatever, you could go study anything, right? And so obviously they perhaps had some ideas about certain subjects that are better or worse for obtaining success in the long run, but
then
they figured just get a degree and that can be fine.
How did you find the University of Michigan in terms of what it gave you that is useful for you, like in terms of that broader knowledge or the broader experience?
For me, it was tremendous. It was the best education I'd ever gotten.
Amazing.
It was, everything was a breeze. until then. And then once you got there, everybody was sort of on that level. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
Like,
it's good to be with people on your level, right? I mean, that's really
it,
important.
yeah, it is. And it was, refreshing every day. And then you get used to it. And then all of a sudden you're, propelling faster and faster. I got to study abroad. That was insanity, really, like going, to Europe and getting to study there and just really finally quenching that curiosity. And I had the blessing too of being able to really study wide inside of
Wow, that's amazing.
the literature,
Wait,
LSA.
what's really funny about this conversation is you're the opposite version of me in the sense that that broad education really helped you. It really helped you grow and explore. And that is the best of what a university can offer. So I'm so pleased to hear all of this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and like you said, it's great to see things working in, for each person in their own way. I've heard more and more of this, and I think more and more people are going away from classical university studies.